The air is thick with the weight of what just happened. Miriam's eyes snap open. She gasps for breath, her lungs burning like she's been underwater too long. The room around her is unfamiliar, sterile, clinical, a place that feels like it was ripped straight out of a nightmare. Her hands tremble as she touches her face, feeling the cold sweat that has already soaked through her clothes. She sits up quickly, her mind still struggling to catch up with the horrors she just witnessed. The Watcher, the archive, and Claire. She had seen her friend's body possessed by something far darker than just a mere reflection. Miriam can still hear Claire's distorted voice echoing in her mind. There's no way out. There never was. It claws at her brain, threatening to tear her apart with its chilling certainty. Miriam shakes her head, desperate to clear her thoughts. This place, this strange, twisted reality, isn't real. Can't be. She forces herself to rise from the cold floor, her legs unsteady beneath her. She stumbles toward the door. It's locked. Click. She freezes. A soft sound like a door unlocking. Slowly, she turns the handle, her heart hammering in her chest. The door creaks open, revealing a hallway dimly lit by flickering overhead lights. The walls are bare, cold concrete. The atmosphere is suffocating, heavy with the stench of something decayed, something foul. Miriam steps out, her body tense, her mind racing. She has to find a way out, has to figure out what happened to her, to Claire, the Watcher, all of it. Every step feels like it takes her deeper into something she cannot understand. Suddenly, a voice breaks through the silence. Miriam, her breath catches. It's Claire's voice, but it sounds distant, far away. Miriam turns toward the sound, but there's no one there. The hallway stretches out in front of her, stretching into an abyss of shadows. Miriam, the voice calls again, softer this time, almost a whisper. She feels her pulse quicken. It's coming from down the hall. Without thinking, she takes a step forward. Then another, and another. Each footfall feels like it's dragging her further into a trap. The darkness seems to close in around her, the walls pressing against her with every step. The voice calls again, but this time it's different. Help me. It's not just Claire anymore. It's a chorus, a cacophony of voices, all of them pleading, begging for salvation. And they all sound the same. Help me. The sound grows louder, more urgent, until it is almost deafening. Miriam's hands cover her ears, but it doesn't help. She keeps walking, her legs moving of their own accord, as if she is being guided by some unseen force. She has no choice but to follow the sound. It's the only thing that makes sense in this hellish place. At the end of the hallway, she sees a door. It's ajar, a sliver of light spilling from the crack. Miriam pushes it open, stepping into a room filled with monitors. The screens flicker with static, the images on them distorted and corrupted. Her heart skips a beat when she sees it. There, on the screen, is a reflection of Claire. But it's not Claire, not really. The figure on the monitor is distorted, twisted, like a reflection in a broken mirror. Her eyes are black, empty, devoid of all emotion. Her mouth moves, but no sound comes from the screen. Claire! Miriam shouts, rushing to the screen. Claire, are you there? Can you hear me? The figure on the screen doesn't respond, but the air in the room grows colder. Miriam feels it, a sudden, overwhelming presence behind her. She turns quickly, her breath caught in her throat, and then she sees him, the Watcher. He stands at the doorway, his tall form silhouetted by the dim light behind him. His face is a blur, a shifting mass of shadow and distortion, like it's being pulled apart by some unseen force. His presence fills the room, presses against Miriam like a physical weight. You can't save her, Miriam, the Watcher says, his voice like a low growl. She is already lost, just like you. Miriam steps back, her heart pounding in her chest. She has to escape. She has to get out of here before it's too late. But her body won't obey. She's frozen, paralyzed by the sight of him, by the terror that radiates off his form. You're too late, the Watcher continues, stepping into the room, his movements slow and deliberate. The archive has claimed you all. There is no escape from its grip. Miriam's mind races. She can't let this be the end. There has to be a way out. She remembers the journals, those strange, fragmented entries she had seen in the old house. She remembers Claire's last words before she was consumed by the archive. There's no way out. There never was. But Miriam refuses to give in. She won't let the Watcher win. Not like this. Suddenly, the room goes dark. The monitors flicker out one by one, plunging the space into complete blackness. Miriam stumbles backward, her heart thundering in her chest. She can't see anything. She can't even hear her own breath. Then the light flickers back on. But it's not the same room. The walls have changed. The monitors are gone. The sterile, clinical space has been replaced by something else. The room feels different, wrong. She's no longer in the place she had just been. And standing before her is Claire. But this time there is no distortion. No emptiness in her eyes. No broken reflection. This is Claire. But how? Miriam. Claire's voice is soft, full of sorrow, as she steps forward. Her face is pained, as if she's been holding back tears for a long time. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Miriam's breath catches in her throat. Claire, what's going on? Where are we? What happened to the archive? Claire shakes her head, her eyes filled with a deep, haunting sadness. You've already been here, Miriam. You've already seen it. We're all part of it now. The words hang in the air like a sentence. Miriam stumbles backward, the truth hitting her like a ton of bricks. She can't escape. There's nowhere to go. No. Miriam whispers, her voice breaking. No, it can't be true. This isn't real. Claire reaches out, her hand trembling. It is. We're all trapped here. But you still have a choice. You can still end it, Miriam. The words hang in the air like a twisted offer, a lifeline, or perhaps a final trap. But before Miriam can speak, a new voice cuts through the silence. Not so fast, Miriam. The Watcher. His figure looms over them both, his voice a mocking sneer. You really think you can change anything? You're already a part of it. You always were. And then, in the distance, another sound breaks the silence. A soft, low hum. Faint at first, but growing louder. Closer. Miriam feels the walls close in again. The air is thick with dread. What's happening? She gasps, her voice shaking. Claire turns to face her, her expression full of regret. This is it, Miriam, she says softly. There's no way out, no escape. The Watcher's presence grows, surrounding them like a suffocating fog. And as the humming grows louder, the truth becomes undeniable. Miriam is already lost. The walls of the room seem to pulse with a rhythm that matches Miriam's heartbeat. Every breath feels heavier than the last, as if the very air around her is thickening, suffocating her in its grasp. The Watcher's voice continues to echo in her mind, his words relentless and cold. You've always been a part of it, Miriam. You never had a choice. Her mind races as she tries to make sense of it all. Claire's face, so familiar, yet somehow distant, hovers in front of her, a ghost of the woman she once knew. The sadness in Claire's eyes is palpable, like a deep well of regret that stretches down into something dark and bottomless. And the Watcher. His presence is overwhelming, oppressive, as if he's the very embodiment of everything that's wrong with the world she's trapped in now. But Miriam can't accept it. She can't let herself believe that this is the end. I don't believe you, Miriam says, her voice shaking but defiant. This isn't real. This is some kind of trick. Claire's gaze softens, and for a brief moment, Miriam sees the woman she once knew. The woman who was her friend, her confidant. But that warmth quickly fades, replaced by the cold, hollow eyes of someone who has seen too much. Someone who has been consumed by the same darkness that's now closing in on Miriam. You have to listen, Miriam. The archive. It's already inside you. It's always been inside you. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter what you do. You're part of it now. Miriam recoils, her mind fighting to push the words out, to deny what Claire is saying. But as the room around her shifts, becoming more distorted, the truth sinks in like a needle piercing her skin. This place, this nightmare, it's not just some twisted experiment. It's not just some secret government project. It's something far older, far darker, and far more insidious than Miriam could have ever imagined. No, she whispers, stepping back. I can't be part of this. I won't be. But the humming in the air grows louder, more insistent, as if the very fabric of reality is being torn apart around her. The watcher moves closer, his presence suffocating, his eyes, those black, empty pits, locked onto hers with a chilling intensity. Miriam can feel her resolve breaking. She feels the weight of his gaze pulling her down into the abyss. It's too late for you, Miriam. It's too late for all of you. You're already one of us. Suddenly, Claire reaches out, her hand trembling as it brushes against Miriam's arm. The touch sends a shock of cold through Miriam's body, but it's not just physical. There's something deeper, something darker in the contact. A sense that Claire's very essence is now intertwined with the archive, just like everything else in this twisted place. There's still time, Claire says softly, her voice barely above a whisper. You have to make a choice, Miriam. A choice that will either free you or trap you forever. Miriam looks at her, her mind a whirlwind of confusion and terror. What choice? What could she possibly do in a place like this? There's no escape. There's no way out. Every path she looks down is a dead end, a never-ending loop of terror and despair. What choice? Miriam asks, her voice breaking. What can I do? Claire's face twists in anguish, her lips pressing together in a thin line. You know what you have to do. You've always known. The watcher laughs, a low, mocking sound that sends chills down Miriam's spine. You think you have a choice? You don't. There is no escape. There never was. But just as Miriam is about to crumble under the weight of his words, something shifts. A faint light flickers in the distance, a crack in the darkness that beckons her. Her heart skips a beat, a sliver of hope igniting within her. She has to fight. She can't let the archive claim her. She can't let this twisted nightmare become her reality. I won't let you win, Miriam says through gritted teeth, her hands balling into fists at her sides. The watcher's smile widens, but there's no humor in it. You never had a choice. But just as his words reach her ears, a loud crash shakes the room. The walls tremble, and for a moment, everything stops. Silence falls, heavy and thick, and Miriam feels a strange, sharp clarity cut through the haze of fear and confusion. She turns, and that's when she sees it. In the distance, the faint outline of a figure. It's not the watcher. It's not Claire. It's someone else. Someone familiar. Miriam squints, trying to make out the figure through the swirling shadows, her heart pounding in her chest. The figure steps closer, moving with an eerie calm. As they come into focus, Miriam's breath catches in her throat. It's Lucas. Miriam can't believe her eyes. The man she thought was lost, the man who had been swallowed by the archive, now stands before her, alive or at least appearing to be. His face is ashen, his eyes dull, but there's a strange stillness to him, as if he's caught between two worlds. Lucas, Miriam whispers, her voice trembling with a mix of hope and disbelief. Lucas stops in front of her, his gaze distant, unfocused. He looks like a ghost, but there's something undeniably real about him, something tangible. He doesn't speak, but his presence fills the room, adding to the tension, the suffocating dread that hangs in the air. Miriam, Lucas finally says, his voice flat, emotionless. You're not supposed to be here. Miriam takes a step forward, reaching out toward him. I don't understand. Where have you been? What's happening? What's going on with the archive? Lucas doesn't answer right away. Instead, he looks down at his hands, as if he's examining them for the first time. The faint glow of the flickering light reflects off his skin, but it only serves to highlight the hollowness of his eyes, the emptiness that seems to radiate from him. I don't know, he says softly. I've been trying to get out, but it's like everything is pulling me back. I can't escape. Miriam's heart races as the pieces begin to fall into place. She's been here before. She's heard these words before. She's seen this pattern. We're all connected, Miriam says, her voice barely above a whisper. The archive. It's inside all of us. We can't escape. Lucas doesn't respond, but his eyes flicker, as if the words have struck something deep within him. A flash of recognition, a hint of a struggle. It's too late, he says, his voice suddenly cold, as if the warmth she had seen moments before had evaporated. There's no escape. There never was. Miriam stares at him, her mind spinning. The archive has claimed him just like it claimed Claire, just like it claimed everyone else. And now it's claiming her too. But there's one thing she knows for sure. She won't give up. Not yet. I will find a way, she whispers, more to herself than to Lucas. I will find a way out of this. But as she says those words, the room shifts again. The light flickers. The air grows colder. And Miriam feels the watcher's presence loom even closer. You're already too late, he says, his voice a low, guttural growl. The walls begin to close in, and Miriam knows, deep down, that there's no escaping the darkness. Not now. Not ever. The question is, will she become part of it? Or will she fight until the very end? The answers are waiting. But will she survive long enough to find them? The mystery deepens, and the darkness grows ever closer. Can Miriam escape the archive's grip? Or will she fall prey to its insidious power? The chilling truth is just beyond reach, but only time will tell if she can survive the nightmare that's now become her reality. Stay tuned for where the line between reality and madness continues to blur. Miriam's pulse quickens as she watches Lucas stand motionless in front of her, his cold, hollow eyes flickering with something. Regret? Recognition? She can't tell. All she knows is that the room is closing in on her, the air growing heavier, suffocating her. The watcher's presence presses down from every angle, invisible but all-encompassing. Miriam feels like a fly caught in a web, every movement pulling her deeper into the center of a trap that she can't escape. You're not real. She whispers the words to herself as if speaking them aloud will break the illusion, tear down the walls of her own mind. But she knows deep down that it's a lie. The terror in her chest is real. The coldness in Lucas' eyes is real. And the overwhelming dread that has plagued her from the very start is real. You don't understand, Lucas says, his voice distant, mechanical, as if he's speaking from the farthest edge of his own mind. There's no escaping this. We're already in it. All of us. Miriam feels the floor beneath her shift, a faint tremor that sets the room in motion. The faint glow of light that once felt like salvation now flickers violently, as if it's on the verge of being snuffed out altogether. Shadows seem to stretch and twist, disfiguring the space around them into something that doesn't quite belong to this world. What do you mean? Miriam asks, her voice rising slightly, desperate for clarity. She takes a step closer to Lucas, her fingers trembling as she reaches toward him. What happened to you? To Claire. But Lucas doesn't answer. Instead, his gaze flickers toward the darkened corner of the room, where a figure, an impossibly tall, gaunt silhouette, stands watching. It's the Watcher. The air grows colder still, and Miriam shivers as the Watcher takes a slow, deliberate step forward. The light flickers again, casting his shadow in jagged lines across the walls. His presence is undeniable. His very existence seems to warp everything around him. His eyes gleam beneath the brim of his wide hat, reflecting nothing but darkness. Miriam. The Watcher's voice is low, almost a hiss. You're closer than you think. The archive is a part of you, and always has been. You just haven't been able to see it yet. Miriam's breath catches in her throat as the realization hits her like a punch to the gut. She's been so focused on the horrors unfolding before her, so desperate to find answers, that she's ignored the possibility that it's not just happening to her. It's always been happening to her. The archive, the shadowy, invisible force that's manipulated everyone and everything around her. It was always lurking, just beneath the surface of her own life. The Watcher steps closer, his dark presence filling the room with an overwhelming sense of dread. His voice cuts through the air like a blade, chilling Miriam to her core. You think you have a choice, but there was never any choice to be had. You were always part of the archive, Miriam. You just don't remember it yet. Miriam shakes her head violently, unable to comprehend what he's saying. No, that's not true. I'm not like them. I'm not part of this. The Watcher's lips curl into a smile, but there's nothing even remotely comforting about it. It's already too late. You don't remember because the archive wiped your memories, but you were part of the experiment, just like everyone else. Miriam's vision blurs as a wave of nausea rushes over her. The words echo in her mind like a nightmare made flesh. She wants to scream, to run, to tear her way out of this suffocating nightmare. But it's like the very walls of her mind are closing in, trapping her in a cycle she can't escape. The Watcher is right. She's been part of this experiment all along. The strange memories, the flashes of something she couldn't quite grasp, they weren't coincidences. They were fragments of something much darker. No, Miriam's voice cracks as she stumbles back, her knees threatening to give way beneath her. No, I don't believe you. I'm not like them. I'm not. But Lucas steps forward, his eyes dull, as if he's been consumed by the same force that now holds Miriam in its grip. His face is pale, gaunt, the skin stretched too tight across his bones. His mouth opens, but the words that come out are not his own. You are. We all are. The archive has taken us. It's taken all of us. Miriam's heart races as the truth settles over her like a suffocating blanket. The archive, this twisted entity, had been shaping her life from the very beginning. She'd been part of it, whether she knew it or not. The memories that had seemed fragmented, disjointed, were not her fault. They were manipulated, altered, erased. She wasn't just a victim. She had been a pawn in a game that had been played far beyond her comprehension. You can't escape it, Lucas says, his voice distant and hollow. You never could. Tears sting Miriam's eyes as the walls around her seem to close in tighter. Her hands tremble as she grips the edges of the table in front of her, trying to steady herself. The Watcher's words echo in her mind, louder and louder, until she feels like she's drowning in them. No, Miriam whispers, shaking her head. I won't be part of this. I won't let it take me. But as she speaks, something shifts. The air grows colder still, the shadows deepening, until the room is completely consumed by darkness. Miriam feels the ground beneath her tremble, a deep rumble that shakes her to the core. She feels the pull of the archive, its invisible tendrils reaching for her, trying to drag her into the abyss. It's time to let go, Miriam, the Watcher says softly, almost kindly. You're already one of us. Suddenly, the room goes completely dark. Miriam's breath catches in her throat, her heart pounding in her chest. She's trapped. The walls are closing in. The archive is pulling her deeper, and she knows, deep down, that there's no way out. But then, from the darkness, a voice calls out. It's faint at first, but it grows louder, more urgent. Miriam! The voice is familiar. Too familiar. It's Claire. Miriam's breath hitches in her throat as she turns, trying to locate the source of the voice. But the darkness is impenetrable, the air thick and suffocating. She can't see anything. She can't hear anything except for the echo of Claire's voice, calling her name. Miriam, don't give up. The voice is closer now. Miriam feels the warmth of it, a faint glimmer of hope in the darkness. It's the only thing keeping her tethered to reality. Claire, where are you? Miriam calls, her voice shaking with desperation. But just as quickly as it came, the voice fades. The darkness closes in, and Miriam feels herself being pulled deeper into the void. She screams, but no sound comes out. Her body is weightless, floating in the endless dark. The last thing she hears before everything goes silent is the Watcher's voice. You can't escape. You never could. To be continued. The darkness deepens, and Miriam's fate hangs in the balance. Will she survive the grip of the archive, or will it consume her like it has so many before her? The twisted truths, the false memories, and the haunting presence of the watcher leave her teetering on the edge of oblivion. Stay tuned for the next part, where Miriam's journey into the unknown will reach a terrifying new chapter. What will she discover? And will it be too late to escape the nightmare that has become her life?